Caller just called in, listening to the program on KTAE. We thank you very much for that report. Gentlemen, anything else? We only have about 6 minutes left in the program. Bob, is there anything you wanted to cover that you think of great import?
I think that the gold market and the silver market, their performances in the last several days, particularly yesterday and today, are telling us that there's not much selling left around, and I think they're ready to take, at least gold will attack 960 here, maybe this week, and for probably next week, at least by then. And I think it'll break out. And I think silver will break over 16 as well. I think we're getting ready for a large move and an attack on 1,000 over the next 2 months. And I think it will be successful this time. The central banks aren't selling. I just got this week's report in for last week. They sold 0.7 of 1 ton or something like that to buy coins. They're not interested. They know gold's going up. They are the ones who are manipulating the market, and in conjunction with the U.S. Treasury and the Fed. And I think our time is here. And once that thing breaks over 1,000 and runs to a new high, it's going to all break loose. And you're going to see a weakening market. The market could easily go back to 8,800 or 9,000 without any trouble whatsoever. And I think you're going to see a move back up in interest rates, a market which the Fed has been manipulating. And I think the dollar is going to break 78 and head down to 74 or 5 during that time period. So I think we're coming into a very exciting time for gold and silver. And for goodness sakes, don't try to outsmart the market. Just buy.
Now, okay. This is coming from a gentleman, and Bob, people that are just tuning in that don't know who Bob Chapman is, you were intelligence, counterintelligence for the United States government with top clearance. You've made the statement, I can't tell you what I used to do because you know the old saying, if I tell you, I got to shoot you. All right, so you were inside the government. You saw how things were really run. You had many years, how many on Wall Street yourself?
28.
28 years you owned your own business, so you have seen the workings of the government and Wall Street in particular, and you know it rather well. So when you speak today, you're telling the people, based on your experience of seeing how the things are rigged and everything else, that when you're telling people right now to buy gold and silver, you ain't messing around.
No, I think we've reached a time when people have to be more concerned about wealth preservation. Those who have more than dehydrated and freeze-dried foods and a water cleansing device and a method of defending the family, when you've gone beyond that and you've got that and you do have wealth, you got to get it out of those banks. 3 months, no more, for operating expenses. If your business 6 months, no certificates of deposit, no cash value life insurance policies, no annuities. Because the annuities and the insurance policies are invested in the market. And if the market's going to go back down again sooner or later, you don't want to be there. If in the meantime gold and silver are going up, why wouldn't you be there? You'd have to be dumb not to be.
Talk to me about mining stocks, Bob.
Uh-oh. Agnico Eagle, Gold Corp, Silver Standard, and Mine Finders. And for those who like to gamble, I've got one that looks like it's under accumulation called Helex, and it looks like it wants to take off.
But what is going to happen to the miners if we have, say, a 1,000-point correction in the Dow?
I think that the mining companies will go higher if gold and silver go higher, and I believe that's what's going to happen. If you remember back in the 70s and into the early 80s, that the gold and silver shares and gold and silver itself were the antithesis of the market. We're going to return to that. And so at the beginning of a correction of, say, 1,000 points in the Dow, I would think that there would be some margin selling. There would be some pressure. After that, they're on their own. People are going to be looking for a place to go so that they can retain their wealth or make money. And that's going to be one of the few places they can go to.
All right. And, Robbie, once again, your peso 1930, brilliant uncirculated, over a quarter of an ounce, folks. 20 of these things will run you $5,700. You get the International Forecaster for a year and or an extension, or be a real pal and sign up somebody else for it so they can get into the game of knowledge.
And delivery is very fast.
And delivery is very quick. Call 800-691-7898. You may want to hold that for an hour because Robbie Noel comes right up on this network in just a few minutes. Thank you, Bob Chapman.
Thanks, John.
See you next week.
Thank you, Robbie.
Bye-bye.